Hey there! It's day 2 of our volume of cones, cylinders, and spheres, and today we are going over the volume of cones. So if you don't have your notes out, maybe go grab them, pause this video, get your notes that we did yesterday from cylinders, and just go ahead and add these on there. Volume of cones, as you might know, hang on a second, sorry, dinner's ready. As you might know, a cone looks like this. Think of an ice cream cone or a party hat. Cones can be either way. Sometimes they'll even lay them on their sides, like this. So don't get confused. Know that they all three are the same thing. Now, the crazy thing about a cone, and if we were in class, I have a really fun demonstration that I would have done for you, and maybe I'll upload another video showing you this, but a cone is equal to 3 cylinders that have the same height and radius. Kind of confusing to think about, but it has everything to do with what the formula of volume of a cone is. So here's the formula you would likely see on a test. For a cone, the volume formula says 1/3 times pi times the radius squared times height. Now, if you notice, this is your formula right here for the volume of a cylinder that we talked about yesterday. A cone is 1/3 of a cylinder. It takes 3 of these to fill up a cylinder. Now, I know that my students have a lot of anxiety about fractions, so I'm going to give you a second way to write this formula. I'm going to eliminate the fraction for you. Now, don't get super excited. I'm eliminating the fraction, but I'm adding an operation. So you can use this formula, or you know that you can actually write it like this. Volume equals pi times the radius squared times height divided by 3. These are both the exact same thing. Multiplying by 1/3 and dividing by 3 mean the same thing in a math equation. So let's do a couple problems with that. I have a cone. Here's my cone. As you know, cone's similar to a cylinder. We've got a radius. The height is always going to be from the center to the point, and it's usually displayed as a dashed or dotted line. The height makes a right angle with the radius. So your height will be here. Same thing here. This would be the radius. Your height is going to look like that. Same thing would apply here. So now I'm going to have a radius of, let's say, 5 inches. And then I'm going to tell you the height of our cone here is going to be 7 inches. So just like yesterday, we're going to use that formula. Let me pull up my calculator. 1/3 times 3.14. I'm always going to advise you to use 3.14 unless it tells you not to. Times the radius, which is 5, squared, times our height, which is 7. So love does most, the fraction function. 1/3 times 3.14 times 5 squared times 7. Now this one, 3.14 isn't always guaranteed to give you a pretty decimal. Unfortunately, because we're dividing by 3 or multiplying by 1/3, we're likely going to get repeating decimals for these. Relax. Go to the hundredths place. It's usually going to be a 6 or a 3 that's repeating. If it's a 6 that's repeating, it's going to become 183.17. Or it would become 183.13 if it was a 3 repeating. But in this situation, the 6 is repeating. So that 6 would round up to a 7. The 6 behind it would round up to a 7. So let's do one more example. Give you a birthday hat example. Here's our height. We're going to say our height is 3 centimeters. And this time, instead of giving us a radius, they're going to give us a diameter. And they're going to tell you that diameter is, let's go 6 centimeters. So what do I have to do to that 6? Because I've got the whole distance across. I need to cut it in half and go to 3. So when I plug my formula in, 1/3 times 3.14 times 3 squared times the height of 3. So 1/3 times 3.14 times 3 squared times 3. And this one happens to give me a pretty decimal, which is 28.26. Cones are not that challenging, with the exception of getting decimals that we might not be super comfortable with, and that's okay. Really, you don't have to memorize the formula. You just have to know how to plug the numbers in. So like yesterday, I'm going to give you a worksheet, attach an echo into this Flipgrid that'll have you practice some problems. There's going to be an echo assessment that you can try out to see how you do. If you have any questions or concerns or struggles, reply to this Flipgrid, and I'll be able to help you out best I can. And if not, good luck with your work. Don't forget your Math Excel assignment is due on Friday. We'll talk soon, guys. Hope you're doing okay. Bye.